Hello, hello. Hey, Sinistella. Yoinking first away from Galaxy Inferno. It's not even a competition. All right, where we left off earlier today was getting all of the new constraints to work. So this is done. This is done. Oh, did we do that? Challenge mode configuration? Has constraint. Yeah, we did that. I was sniped. The day off is ruined. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. Well, hopefully there's a lot of sense of pride and accomplishment for the rest of the day. Yeah, Pretzel. It was just a minute ago we came to Twitch to see if the afternoon stream started. Wasn't a minute ago, or 40 seconds ago, sure. Well, hello, Pretzel. Happy Friday. I hope your week's been going well. We are going to start to code all of the things that are in here. So enemies deal more damage. Let's go start with that. What I eat for lunch? I had buffalo chicken mac and cheese. Been good. What about you? It's been pretty good. It's been an overall good week. I think we're trending in the right direction here. I've gotten some more YouTubers to cover Skeleseller. And actually, one of the YouTubers I reached out to a while ago made a second video. And he was really appreciative of the game, too. He was like, I'm here for it. I can't wait to see where this goes. I just want more game. So, yeah, I'm excited. All right, challenge mode constraint. We need to go find this. Hey, Chef Alton. Okay. So when it comes to enemies doing damage, maybe we put this in the battle system, I guess. Haven't heard that before. Well, it is still a problem because the demo doesn't give them more game, and there's no way for them to get more game yet. All right, battle stats, stat multiplier. Here it is. All right, this is a stat multiplier, though. It's not a power multiplier. So I think what I need to do is power multiplier equals 1 and life multiplier equal. Oh, wait. Wait. It's also fortitude, but no one has fortitude right now. So power, life, and fortitude multiplier, I guess. And we just set them all to this. Yeah. And then multiply all of these individual ones by the right things. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so here's what we do now. We do title screen dot challenge mode configuration dot has constraint. So if we have challenge mode constraint ID dot more enemy damage, then we do power multiplier times more enemy damage multiplier. All right, yeah, that's it. So we're going to do this in a lot of different places. So let's go test this out. We're going to set this to 10.5 times the regular damage to make sure that it's working. And it's going to load us into the title screen. And we're going to pick, I guess, easy mode. Easy mode does not have this constraint. So when we get into a battle, the enemies are not going to do a crazy amount of damage. So this should just be a regular fight right here. So let's just look at the damage number. It should be 10. Yep, 10 damage. Looks good. Now we pick medium mode, and it says enemies do 1,050% more damage. So it should do much more than 10. It should kill me in one hit. I guess not one hit, but it's doing 104 damage, so it is working. So now we tone that down to a regular amount, maybe, yeah, 50% more damage. Again, I do not know what the balance for this should be. So at some point, we need to test this stuff, and maybe we spend some of Monday doing that. We need to balance all of the difficulty levels. Ideally, we can just try very hard mode for all of them. And if we can win that, then, well, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe assign playtesters to each level. I don't know how we want to do that. Well, we've coded one thing. So let's mark that done. Hard. Seeds cost more in terms of potion value, and the treasure room is nerfed, so you can't ignore the farm. So seeds costing more. Let's go code that. Yeah. seeds cost more. Seeds cost more. Okay, so this is going to be cost increase, and I think we're just going to set it to 1. Seeds cost. Okay, the problem is we never explained what the seed cost originally is. I guess we need to do that. The farm doesn't have, the extractor has it. Base item value per seed. Yeah, I guess we have to make this public now. Or we put it in here. Oh, you know what? That might be even better than what I'm doing here. Maybe there should just be a get power multiplier and it checks this stuff for us. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking instead of what I just did. Here, we just say power multiplier times equal this times power multiplier. And then we remove this stuff. And we go make this public float power multiplier. This would just be its ID, which I guess is never saved anywhere. Question mark, damage multiplier, otherwise 1. Yeah. Hey, Matt. Are your remaining tasks done? Yeah, this looks pretty nice. I think we can make this even slightly better by, oh wait, we do store the ID. And this is public? Yeah, so we could just do that. All right, yeah, that's pretty good. 1 task left. You're almost there. You're almost there. And it's not too crazy in terms of working hours yet. Thanks, Alex. Okay, yeah, this does look a lot nicer. So now what's the problem with this? Oh, that this isn't static. And now this can't be static. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck, I don't like it. I'd have to make like a private static. I don't like this at all. It should be able to know what the ID of this thing is. I need to store it as a static field though for it to know that. Public static const challenge mode constraint ID. If I do this, it's going to say that it's shadowing the parent parameter. Yeah. I could do this. Alternatively, I can make a new constraint and then check it, but I'm not sure how I want to do that yet. It's almost done. Then time for staging and a PR. GG day's done. Okay, you're almost there. You can do it. The alternative thing that I could do here is just to find this in 2 different places. But I think having it in one is probably best. Yeah, so this is how this looks. And now this needs to be pretty much the same. So let's save that as seeds cost more constraint and just delete what I already have here. And the constraint ID is going to be that. And the cost increase is going to be 1. And it's just an int, I guess. And we say seed cost. So if you have this, then it's going to be the base cost, which is here, which I guess is private. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Kevin. Seeds cost this much each up from base. Money symbol. Also, this should probably be in bold, right? Do I do that over here? I don't do that over here. More damage. Enemies do BB code functions, format number. $. What did I do wrong? Quotes. Quotes would be nice. Okay, we're getting there. Yeah, we have to do a ton of these. So this is not going to be done anytime soon. Format number, $, quotation mark, seed cost. Hang on one sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. We're expecting a friend to come over today, and her plane was delayed. So my wife wanted to know if she was here, and she's not. Seeds cost this much each. What did I mess up? That up from... Does it know how to format this? BB code functions dot format. That's pretty nice. Okay, the only thing that's a little bit confusing here is that people don't know that seeds have a cost at all. Public should come before private? What? What? That's not how it works in every other way. Weird. Is that on the Avok video or Idle Cub? I remember seeing that. I think it was on one of the bigger videos. But I like those sorts of comments. I think they're nice. Okay, so now we got to just go do this over here. This was a constant. It's not a constant anymore. This is going to be, and it's not something I want to have to compute every single time. I guess it's once you initialize this, there's going to be an item value per seed. So we do private long base item value per seed. All right, so we just delete all of these things. There. And then delete that. And then in init, we set this thing. Equals seeds cost more constraint dot seeds cost. This is, I just realized this is a big mistake. Cannot convert from a float. I want it to be a float. Why is there a problem here still? Cannot implicitly convert from long to int. Where's the long here? Oh, there? I don't care about that. This could just, the whole thing could just be a long. I don't care what any of these things are. Why are they, why did I save these as, oh, they are saved as longs. Okay, well then let's make everything a long. Yeah, so there's a problem here, which is that none of these should work unless you're in challenge mode. And the title screen has a challenge mode configuration, which should only be set if you change this and enter challenge mode. Yeah, this is when you press the start button. So if you make a new game, we need to set this back to nothing. Which is, yeah, we got to do that. So on the title screen, there should be a new game button. When you press this, game mode selected equals that. Or you know what we could do? We could check to see if the game mode is regular or not. I think it's better to just set this thing to a new... Well, I don't know about that, actually. No, maybe we should change how this works. Challenge configuration. So has constraint is that the constraint equals this. And I guess that we're in challenge mode. Yeah. Oh, done. Let's go to staging. That was fast. Just found a file on my phone called Skeleseller copy pasta. Man, I think I shared a comment with you that someone made on someone else's YouTube video. This particular person left like 8 comments on their video, and they were just like, I don't know. It just sounded like, this person was very passionate about a game they didn't like, that that they played very briefly. Why did the option dude just up and leave you to rot by his stand? Oh, potion dude. And why does the entire town just ignore a corpse? Something is fishy. Yeah, those are the kinds of things that maybe we'll get the answers to in Skeleseller too. So make sure to share the game with your friends, or else you'll never know. You'll never get answers to these very important questions. All right, I think this is working. Let's go test this out too. How do we want to do this? We want to put this in specialization data. Yeah, so technically these constraints should just get built up. So we're gonna have more seed cost. And then I guess both of these and some other thing for the final mode. Let's try that out. I'm gonna flood it with lower threads. Why doesn't the skeleton get rendered with the right amount of bones that a human would have? Are they not really human? I don't count the number of bones they should have. All right, seeds cost 2 gold each, up from 2 gold. That's great. Seed cost plus. Oh, it's not. It doesn't have the increase yet. So I guess it's cost increase plus base item value per seed. I am very glad that this is all in one spot, and then we went this route. I mean, of having a class for each constraint. It does keep everything consolidated. Although we're gonna have to localize everything. We have to do that anyway, I guess. Okay, so does this work? Let's go try it. So we're going to generate some potions, and each potion should be 1 seed now. So there's 1. That always would have been 1, though. This one should only generate 1. This one should only generate 1. Yeah. Whereas if we play on an earlier difficulty, so we play on easy, then each potion generates 1.5 rounded down. So the first one generates 1, and the second one generates 2. Yeah, nice. Okay. Like I said, we just got to do this a million times. Call the dev lazy. Yeah, I think the dev is lazy. On how to be bones. What would a bone slime look like? Dare I Google this? Because this doesn't sound like... A bone slime is a negatively powered ooze in Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, the wildest part of this search on Bing. Look at this. This is nuts to me. So this, okay, probably makes sense. But then Bumblebee Butter is being offered for bone slime. I don't want to even know. So you can't build the pond. This is not a very easy thing to do, huh? You can't build the pond. Also, there are these like meta hints. If you see the easy mode is whatever X and medium mode is Y, and then hard mode is you can't build the pond, then you probably know that the pond is overpowered and that you should be building it in all the other difficulty levels. So like, probably should build the pond here, knowing that it's apparently going to be nerfed. Honey Fiend needs a fix. Honey and Boney are just 1 letter off from one. Not even true. So I just accidentally closed something. All right, that's looking good. So yeah, you can't build the pond. How do we do this? Challenge ID. Cannot build pond. P-O-N-D. Oogly. Okay, so cannot build pond constraint. Constraint. So we don't need any of that. And here we just need can build pond is it's the opposite of that. Yeah. Anything else we need to do? What's the problem here? Oh, that should be a bool. Whoops. Just finished my first run through Skeleseller. I had fun. Final section to get the swords was a bit slow. Other than that, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's intentionally a bit slow during the demo. I think we can speed that up for the final game because it's not the end of the game at that point. But for the demo, it is the end of the game. Are you interested in now playing challenge mode? All right, so now building the pond. So we go to the building generator and we do this. If cannot build pond, if you cannot, this is kind of stupid. Yeah, there. All right, but then we need to know, this needs to be in the list of available buildings that was even fetched. I don't know how else we'll know how to do this. There's the end screen and we figure out how many buildings you built. But if you're not allowed to build the pond, yeah, the total is not technically going to be the same. Buildable building IDs. So this is not even correct. Yeah, this needs to be a hash set of building ID. Building IDs equals this. And then we put an if statement down here. Building IDs. Okay, that's maybe reasonable. I don't know. Let's try it. Yeah, let's try it. Oh, no, it won't work because I didn't manifest it. All spec data. Whoops. No, go back. Go back. All right, there we go. 100 points to your review. Nice. Yeah, the broken Linux thing was a crazy issue. Just still happy with how that investigation went. Okay, so medium, enemies do more damage. Hard, we also add a seed cost going up. And very hard, we say you cannot build a fishing pond. So if we click very hard and we start a new run and we just immediately give ourselves infinite money, it says you had 1 out of 5 buildings built. So now if we try to build the buildings, we should never see the pond showing up. Good. And then that's it. That's the final building. Yeah, nice. But if we go into a different mode, like hard mode, and we give ourselves a ton of money, it says 1 out of 6 buildings. And now we should be able to build the farm, or the pond. I mean, there it is. Yep. Cool. Okay. So like I said, that is how the rest of this afternoon is going to go. We are going to just slowly churn our way through this entire file and fill in all the data we need to fill in. It may not be balanced. It may not be fun. It doesn't matter. You know what? Let's have AI look at this while I look at it. If it's just clicking a button, if it finds a bug, it finds a bug. All right, looks good. Looks good. Maybe we should start localizing these now. And it is going to add a lot of time. And I don't know if they're going to stay this way, so let's just get this done, I guess. Commented out. Things should be removed. Yeah, we just don't want to check this in. I'll say ignore this for now. Wait, what? That's it? That's the only thing I found? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know about that issue. I just don't plan on checking it in. Base value proceed. This looks good. Yeah. This is all pretty reasonable. Okay, cool. So let's check everything in other than this. Get all of the farming constraints working. Okay. Yeah. All right, done with that. Okay, so medium. Town perks, buildings, and adventurers cost more. I wonder how much more. Okay, so let's go to challenge ID. Building, increase, building, town, increase. It's just not battle perks, as always said. These town building and adventurer perk costs. Yeah, that's a short name. Oh, God. All right. More damage. So let's save this as that. Constraint. What are the odds you change a file in between 3 builds? Well, also, what are the odds you add in a syntax error? Like, if I had changed it to something valid, let's say I accidentally typed testosterone in there. Well, not accidentally. Let's say I typed this in without realizing it could build in. It's like, okay, well, then now that string is in the build. But instead, I deleted a line. Just still very impressed by that. And that's the kind of bug that could have gone forever without getting caught. So I'm glad we caught it. Okay, so this goes here. All right, so what are the costs going to be? Wait, why was this public to begin with? This stuff doesn't need to be public if it's only ever accessed here. Private. Oh, what's it going to say? Separated by a blank line. Okay. I got to go fix the other ones I did this for. Because, yeah, I'm realizing now that these can all be private. Nice. Further encapsulating this. All right, yeah, so this one's going to be a little bit annoying because we have to go change 3 things at once, and most of these constraints are just going to modify 1 thing at once. So where do we get the town perk cost increase? From here? This is cost increase per level. So 5. Okay, let's go do this. So private const int, is it an int? No, it's a long. Town perk cost increase. Because you're increasing the amount that it goes up. Maybe rate increase. That's probably better. All right, so currently it costs 10, then 15, then 20, then 25, then 30, and so on and so forth. What if we made it go up by just 1? It would look like this. So that by the time you've gotten 5 perks, I'm just going to do this the loser way here. You will have paid 10 extra gold. That's not too crazy. It's 10% more. But then by the time you've gotten even more perks, it will be a higher percent maybe. I'm not actually even sure. If you're using Make or Ninja, do they load the whole project in memory? I imagine they're reading files off disk for a lot of these things, and they can't count on being able to read everything into memory, so they probably build modules where they can and then sort of eject the data. But I don't know. And there's probably options for like all of these things to try to build all at once in memory. So you never know. But typically the environment would be different. It would be happening on a CI machine where there's no way you could be modifying the files at the same time. But as long as it's not happening there, then yeah, this bug could have lingered around for a while. All right, so let's try setting this to 1. What else do we need? Building cost increase. Building cost rate increase. So buildings are different. They go 25, 50, 75, 100. Maybe we... First one could still cost 75, I guess. So maybe they cost 25 more per level. Maybe 20 more per level. So plus 45, 115, 160. I mean, that's pretty big. I don't know. I'm still going to just do it because I don't know what to... I don't know what else to do here. And then what was the last thing? Oh, yeah, adventurer costs rate increase. All right, so normally adventurers cost... Actually, I don't think I want to have the rate change. I think I want to have the base cost change. Adventurer base cost. Oh, that might be smarter for all of these. And it might be easier for the player to understand, too. Like, your first town perk costs 10 gold more or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's smarter. Okay. All right, so town perk base cost increase. Let's set the 10. Building base cost increase. It's maybe also 10. And adventurer should be like 50 probably. Yeah. Again, who has any idea if this stuff's balanced? We're just gonna throw caution to the wind and just code some numbers in here. So now we want to figure out what is the town perk base cost. And if you have this constraint, then it's going to be, we need to know what the base cost is. So, whoops. I guess let's just copy paste all these things. Oh, this is all confined to one constraint. If two constraints ever need to modify this stuff, then they're going to need to pull this from one location. Oh, which actually, how would that even work? I guess these don't have the opportunity to operate on the same values. So like, let's say there was a constraint that, well, I guess you'd never have this happen. But yeah, if there was a constraint that changed the town perk cost, and then let's say a specialization also changed it, then there wouldn't be a way to look into that. Gut reaction increasing the base cost to me means your start slower. Yeah, but you start with adventurers that can go into like the third or fourth location already. So we might not even be increasing this as much as we should be. When I tested this earlier, you can skip without doing anything else. You can skip directly to the third location. And actually, I could beat the fifth location, I think, because of the adventures I had. So yeah, costs definitely need to go up as a result of that. All right, well, I guess we're not worrying about this thing for right now. So let's do this. So this is the increased town perk base cost. And what's the problem here? Cannot convert from float to long. Oh, yeah, sure. All right, so we have the, so we should do this. Town base cost. So this would normally be 10. This would normally be 25. And I think this would normally be 25. Let's go make sure that's the case before I mess everything up. Hello, numbers. 10. Okay, yeah, so 10. Building tracker is, ooh, why did I do that? That's not smart. Okay, I don't know why we did that, but we're going to change that now. Building base cost plus 0 num perks bought times 25. I sure hope I'm doing this correctly. Still benefit to doing the earlier areas with the items and to get more workers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see how this all pans out because I don't actually know. All right, so this is going to be town perk base cost plus the town increase or 0. All right, now why is this a problem? The type already contains a definition. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Maybe, yeah, I don't know what we name this. This is like the base cost. Or original base cost or something. Yeah. We delete the word rate from here. Yeah, that's probably decent. All right, so now it's the original cost plus the increase or 0. Now what's the problem here? Operator plus cannot be, oh, because you need to put this in parentheses. Okay. So 1 is done. Now for the other one. It should be pretty simple because it's just a copy paste. Building base cost. And then let's do this, might as well, with the final thing here. Good. Adventure base cost. Cool. So now this should be fine. And then adventurer cost. Where's that? We did the same thing. Oh, we did not do the same thing. Oh, no. It's just an array. We would need to add the base cost to all of these. Okay. I mean, that's not that bad. So adventurer base cost. Yeah. All right, now to write the most obnoxious string here. Town perks start off costing town perk base cost increase. Game constants dot money symbol. Buildings cost. Should be able to just fill this in for me, right? And adventures cost that much more. Okay. All right. This should be functional. And it should look good in that tooltip. Oh, except for I didn't. My goodness. I keep forgetting to add it to the data. So this is in adventuring as of medium difficulty. Yeah. So we code this in here. This is going to be challenge mode constraint ID dot increase the cost of everything. So new game. Town perks start off costing 10 gold more. Buildings cost 10 gold more. And adventurers cost 50 gold more. I don't think we need to say start off costing. I think we just say cost. Yeah, but let's see if it works. So if I click this and we start a new run, now the first town perk should be 20. Yep, the first building should be 35. And then the first adventure should be 75? 100? Doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right at all. It's plus 50. Oh, this doesn't know. Wait, I'm confused. Perk spot should be 0, right? Let's put a breakpoint here. And just restart this. Yeah. It's 0. 0. 0. Still 0. Why is this being hit like every single time? Oh, because we're updating the buy buttons on things. Is this ever not 0? Just expand this. Number spot 0, 0, 0, 0. Should eventually stop being hit. Yeah, it did stop getting hit. Why? What? Was it possible at 25 plus? What is this? Base. Oh, I see. I added 25 to 50. Yeah, this is wrong. This is wrong for everything. I made a huge mistake. We're just increasing the cost of literally every perk by this amount. It's the same as changing the base cost. I've been watching Arrested Development lately. I really do like the first 3 seasons. I don't think I've ever finished season 4. I think it's just bad. Or they like reformulated it or something. And I don't think season 5 is very good either. But those first 3 seasons are something special. And I know this is a very common thing that I read online where people are like, oh, I rewatched the show and I caught so many new jokes. But like, I still, even after watching it as many times as I have, I'll still catch little new things here and there. Not very frequently. Which show? Arrested Development? I'll type it out for you. Yeah, I really like the first 3 seasons. That style of show of like rapid fire jokes. The old Simpsons was like that. 30 Rock was like that. Arrested Development. I'm trying to think what else I've seen that was kind of like that. I think there was a show called Better Off Ted. I think that show was kind of like that too. Yeah, there's always money in the banana stand. Better Off Ted was awesome. I like that show. I think it only got 2 seasons. I think it was pretty good. All right, so what we got to do here is change. I should probably just set this back to what it used to be, right? We just copy paste this. and then revert everything else. And then do this plus this. Building cost increase. Cost I'd get within bounds. What's going on? Oh, I didn't revert this part either. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, we're getting there. Now building cost increase we got to go do. Hey, Marcos. Welcome in. Family Guy? Yeah, Family Guy too, I suppose. Yeah. Corporate show, Big Pharma corporate show, where the side character scientists and fake pharma ads during the show, which were insane. I think that's better off Ted. There was another show I started to watch with Rob Lowe and his son. What was that called? Unstable. Season 1 was good. Season 2 was trash. But it was also kind of like that. I guess there was also a show called Great News. That was very similar to 30 Rock. It pretty much felt like it was 30 Rock, the sequel. Yeah, Great News. I don't see any AI doing the coding. I do use Copilot, but yeah, a lot of what I code is going to be me coding in. Okay, so the thing that I did not like here, I had this building cost increase. I want this to be here. So it's just building cost increase. I guess that's what this is going to be called, building cost increase. So it is just going to be what is just going to be this. And then we can simplify this. Building cost increase, otherwise 0, no need for parentheses. And then we can formulate all of them like this. Yeah, so town perk cost increase. We're going to delete that, delete that, delete this. Base cost increase. So we don't need to know the originals, do we? No. Because, well, I don't know. You might want to know them as a player. Because let's say you never played a game before and you hear that, like, some upgrade costs 5 gold more. If that cost was 500 gold to begin with, you're not going to care at all. But if the cost was 5 gold to begin with, it's doubling. But still, whatever. People played the game, so they'll just eventually get used to it. And if this is a problem, then we'll fix it. So there's going to be cost increase as well. Yeah, cost increase. And we're going to change this stuff to do exactly what the other ones did. Adventure-based cost increase. That's good. Cool. All right, now we just got to go update these things to be the right code. So this is going to be 10 still, plus this, plus the cost increase. Good. And then for adventurers, it's going to be that plus the cost increase. Yeah. All right, now let's try it out. Yeah, someone on Discord mentioned there's going to be a new, like a spin-off of The Office, or maybe not a spin-off exactly, called The Paper. I had not heard of that, and it looked okay. I'd probably give it a shot. Not super hopeful. So 10 gold, and 50 gold. So that means it should be 20, 35, and 75. So 20, good. That's not what I meant. 635, what? What happened there? Oh, I multiply by 25. Yeah, that shouldn't have been there. You don't like it? I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good. I think there's a whole class of absurdist humor that goes like super overboard. Like the Eric Andre show, I think goes like way too overboard with it. And then I think you should leave is like the maximum amount of absurdist humor I want in a TV show. Auntie Donna is occasionally around there. But The Office was like more normal range of absurd humor. Okay, 20, we got that. 35, we got that. And 75, we got that. Okay, so every time you buy one, it should go by 5. Good. And then let's give ourselves a bunch of money. This one should go by 25, so it should be 60 next. Yeah. and then 85. Yep, cool. And then when you hire adventurers, this one should go up by 25 the first time, and then some amount, and eventually go up by like 50. Yeah. So the later one should cost quite a lot of money, 300 apparently. Oh yeah, I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Not all the seasons came to Netflix, so I haven't watched the whole show, and I'm not gonna go buy it. I'm already paying for Netflix. Oh, those are out already, Campbell Soup? I never appreciated that show a while ago, and I probably still wouldn't like it that much. For whatever reason, it was like an infuriating show for me. I don't know if that's a reaction that you're supposed to have watching it. But I respect Mike Judge's work. He has been very, very good at what he does. Okay, this is looking good. So we're done with this one. Next up, regeneration is slower after a battle. Honestly, I don't think this is very fun, especially if you're not getting more adventures. But it maybe makes you prioritize different things. So fine, let's do it. Did I accidentally just change that file? Oh my god, I did. I wrote a new wid. Quite funny with his jokes. Yeah, it probably would be funny to me. I think a while ago it wasn't as funny, but I haven't given it another shot. Okie dokie. Challenge mode ID. We're going to go make an adventurers regenerate slower. Okay, so adventurers regenerate slower constraint. Yeah. Nope, that should have the word constraint on it. Okay, so regeneration multiplier, I guess, is what we need. I don't know how much slower is going to be okay before it's just a pain. So let's start with this and see. Your adventurers regenerate their health at X% of the normal rate. Yeah. So we need to write here, I don't know, multiplier value. Okay, that's it. So now we add this in to the specialization data. So we put this here and here. And then when it comes to regenerating, there's some regeneration calculator. I don't know where that is. Probably in here somewhere. No. I'll find it. Yeah, here it is. Set regen rate for party. So how does this work? Because there's also get regen time for party. And these are two different things. This is based on the regeneration rate that was already set. Regen time remaining. Interesting. Where do we set the rates? Worst case regen time? Wow. All right. Why is that public? It doesn't need to be. So this needs to be multiplied by or divided by the regeneration multiplier. I kind of said that stupidly then, didn't I? It's not really a multiplier. It's okay. No. I understand what it is. It's a regeneration time multiplier. So I need to change this. All right, hold on a second. This is gonna get super confusing super fast if I don't write what it is. So regenerate slower. This is regeneration time multiplier. And this is the rate multiplier. Yeah. Okay, so then when it comes to the regeneration component, we do the time times the regeneration, what is it called? Regeneration, this one, dot, regeneration time multiplier. There we go. Okay, let's go try that out. So we're going to send an adventurer into the into sudden death. Sure death. A certain death is what I meant to say. I got there. And it's going to take him 28 seconds to regenerate. That sounds very punishing and unfun. I mean, I'm going to test it to see if it works, but I don't think it's going to be interesting. So now we need a stopwatch open. Stopwatch. Oh, no, I did it backwards. In fact, there's a timer right there, so I don't even need to do this. How did I mess that up? Worst case regen time times the time multiplier. Oh, there's no divided by there. Yeah, whoops. This is 1 divided by the rate multiplier. Or 1F, technically. There, that'll do it. Tasks done. PR submitted? Because good job. All right, so let's try that one more time. Send the cleric into this battle. They're going to die. And then... How'd I still mess this up? Am I using... How could I possibly mess this up at this point? 1 divided by half is 2. And that's if you have this constraint, which you... Oh, wait, maybe I picked the wrong thing. Did I pick the wrong thing? I'm on level 3. Oh, I must have picked the right thing. PR review, nice. Times the time multiplier. I'm going to just put a breakpoint there. This should be 2. Huh. Let's speed this up. It's 0.5. What? Did I not rebuild this? 1 divided by rate. Oh, maybe? No, I don't know. But yeah, maybe I just didn't rerun it. That's the only thing I can think of. Because there's no way that that math is wrong. Yeah, let's just try again. Send them into here. Speed this up. They died. This should be 2. It is. So now everything should work, and it should show 28 seconds. Yep. Okay, so what's kind of interesting is the mushroom character has no regeneration time. So this is not even a nerf to them. They immediately go back into battle. They're always at full life at the end of a battle. So kind of interesting. And that means that if they're in a party with your other characters, that the worst case regeneration time would be 2/3 of what it would be. So this should say like 21 seconds at the end of this or something. Thereabouts. Yeah, 19-ish. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Okay, well, we'll keep it for now. I don't think it's very fun, but it's there. And then very hard mode, you can only hire another 2 adventurers. This sounds stupid. Maybe we say 3 adventurers? You can hire 3? I'm not even certain that that's a good idea. The whole point of adventuring mode is that you get super powerful adventurers, and then we're like, do it with fewer. I mean, I know it's called very hard mode, so we could afford to do that. We could also... Oh, man, what was I going to say? We could... There are a couple other ways we could accomplish this. Because I don't know if this is the most fun formulation of what this is trying to do. This is essentially steering you toward getting lucky with battle perks, I guess, so that they land on the adventurers you have. It may just be better to make battle perks cost more. That way, you still have to get lucky with perks, but can account for when you get unlucky. Yeah, I think I like this better. Just battle perks cost more. Can you increase the cost of additional adventures instead of limiting the number? Yeah, that's another way we could do this. We could also just increase the cost of adventurers even further. Because we do it once already. Here we increase the town per cost by 10, building per cost by 10, and adventure cost by 50. We could make another tier of this that increases it by 100. So now every adventurer costs an extra 50 from what it did. Yeah, that might be better. Adventurers cost even more. I kind of like that. So now here's where we run into the problem that I was talking about earlier. If you already have the constraint that says that adventurers cost more, and then you get another constraint that says they cost even more, then there needs to be something that can take this value, like multiple things that can modify this value. And it's not that hard to do that. So we go to constraint ID. I typed the wrong thing. Challenge mode constraint ID. Okay, so we say increase adventurer per cost further, or adventurer costs. All right, so how does this work right now? This checks to see if you have this constraint, and if so, it increases this by a certain amount. So we could just check to see if you have another constraint and then increases that one by a certain amount too. Problem is, then we need, oh, I guess that's already public. Well, there was no real reason for that to be the case, right? I'm not sure why I did that. Yeah, so let's go do that. So we'll save this as this and replace that, and base cost increase is like 50 more than it was, and then just delete all of this. Adventurers cost not much more. Even more further. I'm not a fan of increasing the difficulty by anti-synergy. Feels like there should be a way to make the game hard, forcing you to create more synergy with adventurers, like needing max adventurers soloing to keep up some stressor. I just don't know how you'd accomplish that in this game. Like, I've asked this question in the past, but like, what is difficulty in Skeleseller? You don't really manually do anything. Or at least it's not difficult. So is it the high level strategy? Are you making enough decisions in 35 minutes for it to feel like that was difficult? And maybe, I don't know. So a lot of this is like a shot in the dark to see, will this be good? And I don't know what the answer is. Frogger, thank you for the resub. Happy 1/6 of a year. I appreciate it. Okay, so adventurers costs more. Then this would need to be public so that this thing could potentially check the other increased cost. There's an earthquake that shakes all your items around and you manually have to place them back in. That's difficult. That is difficult. You know, the way I probably should have done this is the same way we did something like a power buff. It's a thing that has a value, and then we search for all the things that have a potential to increase this value. Yeah. So I'm going to write this down at the end of this. Consider whether the constraints should work like how power buff worked. Where it inherits from this. And we just find all of the buffs with that interface. Is that what we're doing? Hold on a second. Yeah, it is. All right, that's not the smartest way we could have done that. So if I'm getting a head start with adventures, I'm thinking the difficulty will be meeting a high barrier of winning battles. So I guess reduce the sell price of items, and the players has to pray they get more shop space and faster customers. So I guess what I mean by difficulty here is not what are the barriers the game poses? But like, in what ways are those barriers difficult? And I guess I'm kind of overloading this word a little bit. So as an example, let's say I'm playing, I don't know, let's say I'm playing a clicker game and it takes 50 clicks to do something. And all of a sudden I make it take 5,000 clicks. That's not difficult. That's just annoying. / long. So in Skeleseller, it's like, okay, prices went up. Is that difficult? Is there a way to make this like your decisions need to factor into this somehow? Yeah. Hey, Warner. It's going well. I think it's been going well pretty consistently, actually, which is nice to be able to say. We're working on fleshing out the different specializations difficulties. So we've done all of the farming ones so far. So now very hard mode has 3 different extra difficulty things. And we're working on the adventurer ones. And I'm just about to finish this one. Then we have 7 more specializations to do. So I'm trying to get as much of this done as I can so I can release this today, I hope. All right, yeah, this is a little bit weird because we need to do this plus this. Which is, yeah, definitely strange. All right, let's do it this way. So long increase 1 equals that. Long increase 2 equals that. What am I messing up right now? Oh, I see. The syntax of this? Oh God, what is the syntax of this? This return increase 1 plus increase 2. All right, now there's some way you're supposed to write this down. There we go. I did it. Bit tired. Only got like 4 hours of sleep. Oh man, I cannot operate on a small amount of sleep. I feel like I just end up crashing and taking a nap. I think difficulty needs to be in the choices you make. Some choices won't benefit you enough to meet your goal. That would depend on having lots of choices and varied goals. Might be more work than it's worth. I think that's one of the things that we're kind of realizing here is that there do need to be more perks, and there probably need to be something different in the runs, some things you don't choose necessarily that will change the challenge of the run. And I still haven't figured that out yet. I have this idea of events. I don't exactly know what they are. It could be something like, I don't know, the volcano just got powered up. And the result is enemies there do 2x the damage, but the loot is the same. So it's like, oh, okay, I was fighting in the volcano and I was doing well. Now I can't fight there, or now I can't do as well. So now I need to go somewhere else. And it's like, how do you adapt to these changes? I think that's the kind of thing we're going to have to do. And I sort of have this written down somewhere. Where is that? Alter which choices you make. Some could just say something like the volcano enemies are 2x stronger. Just to change up your decisions. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that. All right, so we've got this here now. I think that's good. Let's go try it out. Become clear which perks get you there the most efficiently and fast. Maybe having item goals or quests that require specific dungeons or levels. I think just anything that changes the equation could potentially work. So your goal can potentially always be get 10,000 gold. And then imagine if we say something like gold earned through item sales is minus 50%. So now it's like, oh, okay, now the garbage slime is better. And maybe there's some other way to earn gold at some point, and like that way would be better too. So we don't necessarily need to have a different goal. We're changing the goal. Well, we're essentially giving you a different sub goal. Just a different way of formulating it, I guess. Something I've always kind of thought about here is there are a lot of game design systems that sort of feel the same. So let's take a really simple game, like a hypothetical game. It's turn-based and it's always 1v1. So it's you versus an enemy, and there are only 2 stats, life and attack. And each turn you do like attack damage to the enemy's life, no dodging, crit, etc. So very, very simple game here. So if you have 100 life and you do 5 damage per hit, it will always take 20 hits to win. Because of the way that this game is formulated, increasing your life is pretty much the same as decreasing the enemy's damage by the equivalent amount, because there are no other stats, so they're identical. But as soon as you add something else like a dodge chance or a crit chance, or maybe like multiple enemies at once, now they're not the same thing. So I kind of think of that here, like we only have 2 ways of earning gold. So if we say that you earn less through sales, it's pretty much identical to saying that the garbage slime is giving you more. But we can change those equations somehow. I don't know what the somehow is yet. But yeah, I got to put some thought into that at some point. Hey, big winner. Any idea how I can make an auto clicker which doesn't interrupt my own mouse actions? Effectively a clicker that could run while I'm doing other stuff on my PC. It's kind of interesting. You'd basically just need to detect clicks but not consume them. And there should be APIs for that on whatever operating system you're on. At least I'm pretty sure. I think Windows has that at least. I actually have no idea if Mac has that. If you couldn't do that, you could potentially have an invisible overlay that does consume the click and then regenerates it back to exactly where it was to the rest of the operating system, but I'm not sure how doable that would be. Let's get a cat. I used someone else's tool to autofish in Minecraft while tabbed out doing my own thing before. But that's sending an artificial click event. I think what Big Winner is asking about is like, I'm clicking this tab here. How do I have that click get counted by a game that's running in the background, but not stop me from clicking these tabs, for example? So like VS Code is still VS Code and I'm still clicking it and using it, but I just earned 10 gold in my game that's running on the side. So for that, like I said, I think it's something that the operating system needs to be able to handle for you. And I'm pretty sure Windows can, and I don't know about Mac, and I don't know about whatever windowing managers you'd have to use on Linux for that. Learn that it doesn't actually work in most modern applications. Are you on Windows? Because I think the Windows API should be pretty much unchanged even for modern stuff, such that it should work. But yeah, you need to know exactly, like if you look up global keyboard shortcut or global keyboard handler C# or something like that, Windows, there's something that lets you do this. And there's probably something that lets you listen to this but not consume it. There's probably something like that for mouse clicks as well. Anyway, I'm not totally sure. It's more like a click duplicator. I think the idea of the game, at least that this person's talking about, is like I said, you're just doing whatever you're doing, and like as you use your computer, you're getting stuff in the game, which is kind of interesting. So Big Winner, I would say to just consider, is there a better way to sort of surface this? Because the way that clicker games work is they incentivize you to click something specific, and essentially more clicks is more rewards in a game. So if your goal is like, hey, just use your computer normally, isn't it kind of the same as just like as time goes on, you get the rewards? because in any given hour, you might have clicked like 637 times. So you kind of just average it out as opposed to encouraging them to do lots of clicks or something. I think they mean make your own clicker game, yeah. Difficulty for adventure spec, all items sell for the same value. Anytime you do anything where all items are equally useful, it just makes players want to go to the forest and just get as many items as possible, I think. Which maybe that's the interest of the mode, is like how can you max out your shops? But yeah, I'm thinking there's gonna have to be another way that we can sell items. Oh wait, okay, I totally misunderstood what Big Winner's talking about then. So never mind. This is like what Sinistella is talking about. Yeah, you just want to send fake click events to a thing. Yeah, that should be possible. Is that really faster than having 2 stacked battles? I may be misunderstanding what you're talking about. I guess what I'm trying to say is if, let's say, like a small blue potion is 3 gold and the fire sword from the Inferno is also 3 gold, then you have no incentive to go to the later locations because you're going to get the same 3 gold anyway. So you just always stay in the early locations. Did I code this? I think I coded this and I never tested it. So let's go take a look. I never even added it. How many times will I forget this? Further. Also, another thing you might want to look into, Big Winner, is a program that already does this for you. There are probably like, if you look up like clicker game cheat programs or something, you can probably find something that does what you already want, although then you have to trust it. So adventurers cost 100 gold more, so it should be 125 gold now. Did I do this correctly? Yes, I did. So the first one's 125 more, sorry, everyone's 100 more, I guess. Now it's 150. So the final one should cost like 400, I think. 350. Okay. Okay, so then can we simplify the wording of this? It says town perks cost 10 gold more, buildings cost 10 gold more, and adventurers cost 50 gold more. Adventurers regenerate their health at 50% of the normal rate. And adventurers cost even more, I think I want to say. Even more. Yeah, I think that'll stress that we didn't make a mistake here. Yeah. All right. So let's check that in. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, this is intentionally supposed to be stacked on top of the other one. This is what I'm not certain that I like about this. Without this, we have this, assuming, I guess this and the other one being coupled together. I think what you might want to look into is like artificial click events. I think it should be possible. But like I said, if you look up clicker cheat programs, you might be able to find someone else's work where they've already done this. The other thing that you can kind of do sometimes is if you look up like clicker cheat program and type not SGH, that's my shortcut, site github.com afterward, you can potentially like look at other people's code where they've done this sort of thing. So like, what is this, for example? Cheat clickers, open source cheat for clicking faster. It works by detecting when you click and sending X more instead. Feel free to make pull requests. Okay, it knows how to send more clicks than what you actually typed in. And it is just an auto hotkey script. And it was done in the last 2 years, so maybe it'll work for what you need. So this has some way of sending clicks, I guess. Stop button. AC start, hotkey, global. Yeah, here, L button on, L button off. They have some way of doing this. There's probably a for loop in here somewhere. Anyway. How'd you search up against the site again? So in Google or in Bing, you can just type site.github.com at the end of this. The way I did it was by typing this, which expanded to that, which is something that I use Espanso for. That's also something AutoHotkey can do if you wanted to, where you want to type out a long word like organization and just have it be 2 characters. All right, this is looking good. Again, we don't want to check in that bottom file there. This is code difficulty constraints for adventuring spec. All right, so we're done with that. Now, where did this go? Done. All right, industry, medium. You can no longer unlock the quick move menu, manually move keys, or manually harvest crops. Okay, this is the worst. This is just the worst. I just don't want to slog through this right now. I guess it's just because this list is so long, but that's the very meaning of bricklaying, so let's get through it. All right, you can no longer unlock the quick move menu, manually move keys, or manually harvest crops. This is kind of interesting. It's saying you can't do stuff. Just show an error notification when you try to click them. Okay, that might be reason to hold off on this one for now. Items disappear off the ground faster. Very hard. X is higher. X, i.e. the gold objective, is higher. Sales are worth less. You get 1 customer less often. You're only offered storage perks at 25% the regular rate, or maybe not at all. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's fun. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, so let's skip the industry ones for now. In fact, maybe we should make some like placeholder constraint that just says, I never coded this. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Never coded this placeholder. And then just add this in for every single specialization. So every medium, hard, or very hard specialization can now have that. Yeah, and then we go make a constraint that corresponds to this. Oops, I didn't do that right. I meant to do that in here too. There. Okay, so now we have this in every single other difficulty. And now we need to go actually code the thing. So we'll just save this. Oh, did I copy every single line of that? Yeah, I did. Constraint. Cool. So this is simple because it doesn't actually do anything. So the tooltip is just going to be like a constraint or several will be here, but I haven't finished them for this specialization. Yeah. All right, so let's see what that looks like now. Yeah, I don't really need to check all of them. So I'm essentially saying that this is the same as easy mode. Oh, did I change it so the medium mode has 35 minutes? I did. Okay, that's a mistake. all specialization 35 minutes. Yeah, medium should not have 35 minutes. So we got to search for all of these and just replace that to 45. We don't also need the jump to be from 45 all the way down to 35. We could say like 45, 43, 41, 39. I don't know, something like that. That could be like a speed run mode that gives you 10 minutes to try to get like 300 gold. Could also disable the buttons if they have default specializations. Well, but the constraints are default, but the times can still change. Well, I guess technically there's nothing different between hard and very hard, but there is a difference. Easy is going to be 45 minutes. Medium and easy, I guess, will be the same, but then medium and hard will switch. So if you did want to try like a thing I haven't coded yet and you want to try hard mode, it will still be slightly different. All right, so let's go check that out. What do we have? Should just be this and the 2 new things that I changed, yeah. Add placeholder constraint, which I got to write myself a note to delete in the future. Delete this. Yeah. I also made medium mode have the same time limit as easy mode. Yeah, good luck, big winner. I think it's interesting to try to figure those sorts of things out. Yeah. Teleprograms are being clicked, yeah. Okay, so on to the other ones. I think part of the reason why this is a little bit daunting to me to work on these things is because I just took a stab at what might be fun here. It's entirely possible I code these things and it's not fun. And I know that if that's the case, I'll just come up with something else. But I don't like the idea of having to throw away what I did just because I didn't think hard enough in the first place. But I don't know how to think about this correctly. Is it fun to get fewer customers? Is it just harder? Is it, yeah, I don't know. Is this the most important thing I should be doing? All right, well, let's go try some of these. So sales are worth 20% less by default. Item sales worth less. Very important to capitalize the L there. Otherwise, sales are worth nothing. And then let's go to more enemy damage, I guess. And copy paste that one into here. Okay, so sales worth multiplier. We could just call this multiplier. Sale amount. Sale price multiplier. Yeah, that's pretty good. Items sell for some percentage of their normal amount. I think it's better framed as they sell for some amount less. Yeah, I think we should say 1 minus this. Items sell for this much less. Yeah, there, good. Okay, so now we got to go figure out where to put this multiplier. So whenever you sell an item, the only place that happens is a buy item. And we already have a multiplier there. Get purchase amount. So we just need to take the item value you would have gotten. Should tips be affected by this? I think so. I think we changed the total value. Item value times a multiplier. This is the rare customer thing. Yeah, we can't just use the item value anymore. What is that? It's a long. Okay, so we'll say item value equals item.value. Now we got to replace everywhere that we use this in here. but we need to be able to change this amount. So this is item value times item sales worth less, sales price multiplier, sale price multiplier. And then we should probably round up. We can't round up though. 80% of 3 would be 2.4. So doing the ceiling of that would bring it back to 3, which is hourly selling for less. I think we should either round or we should truncate. Because rounding 2.4 would still set it down to 2. But there's one other problem here, which is that the tooltips for items show how much they sell for. So those tooltips need to be aware of this multiplier as well. Items have a chance to spawn as mimics. They'll slowly consume gold over time. How do you combat that? Won't you just end up with a bunch of mimics and then you can't get any money? Trash them as soon as you see them. I think this is one of the core problems of challenge mode right now is it's like it's an RTS and how much you have to click. And I think that we probably shouldn't add things that will artificially add to that clicking. We should ideally be differentiating in your macro strategy and not your micro strategy. And yeah, I'm gonna have to put some time into that. There are a lot of aspects of challenge mode that still need to be improved. All right, ideally what we do is we just change the item's value so the tooltip could be modified, but I think the item data is where the tooltip thing comes from. Yeah, it is. So we're changing the base value of items. Value, yeah. And we're what, rounding this down? Or rounding it, I guess. So the same thing would happen here. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Yeah, to write code. Botland all over again. All right, let's go put this inside the specialization thing. So what was this for? Garbage enjoyer? Garbage enjoyer. All right, so instead of never coded this constraint, it's going to be items worth less. Let's go try that. So I want to see what the tooltips actually look like and whether this is selling for less, because it should. So I go into this, I click this one, I click this. It says 0% less. There it is. Why is that happening? Should be 0.2. 0.2 P0 should just be 20%, right? Do I need parentheses around this? I don't think so. No, even C# says they're unnecessary. And it shouldn't be that I need to make that into a floating point number. I'm not sure what's doing that. C# playground. Let's go take a look. Because I don't know how I could mess this up. So we say float multiplier equals 0.8f. And then we print out mult p0. This should print unexpected character. Got to be in the latest .NET, I guess. Okay, this should print 80%. It does. So then why when I do 1 minus, prints 20%. Why did this print? Oh, because that's wrong. This should just be multiplier. Okay, solve that problem. Yeah, items sell for 20% less. Okay, so all the 3 gold items you get at first should sell for 2 gold. Yep, value 2 gold. So if I drag this onto the shop and this and this and this, I want to actually see a customer come over here and buy this stuff. Anyone want a potion? 2 gold. Perfect. Okay, so now what if we got shiny loot? Which means we need to be offered shiny loot. Which is, oh, nice, we did. 5%. Okay, so what does it say now for an item? Oh, is that right? That might be right. I think we used the ceiling for shiny loot. So 3 times 1.05 times 0.8. Yeah, rounded up is 3. That's not how that works, though. Because that's not how we compute this. Is it giving us what they say they're giving us? What are they actually... What are they actually buying that for? 3 gold, yeah. And what about if I put a potion into here? And then the people who want the potions come over there? No, let them grab it. Stop being selfish jerks. There are other people who want this. Stop it. Stop it. They're never going to get it. I would need to just... I need like 1 million workers, which we can get. So let's do that. There. Now we'll definitely have enough potions. Yeah, 13 gold. Yeah, that's probably fine. All right, so where do we calculate the tip value here? We just do mat.ceiling, and we do tip equals total minus item value. Math.max of these two things, where this is the ceiling of this times this. And the most valuable item value is this thing's value. We need to also multiply this by the sale price multiplier. Sale price multiplier. Yeah, and then round that. How does this work? This is just for item IDs? It is, yeah. Okay. Set up all these systems with a multiplier in the very beginning with a default of 1. Then down the road, you could just adjust them. It could be. I think I'd be against it. Sorry, I had to think about a lot of different aspects of this. I think I'd be against it because I think using a multiplicative identity somewhere is essentially the same as dead code. So imagine you have like in health equals 50 times health multiplier. And most of the time this thing is just like const float this equals 1. It's essentially unused. Then when you finally go to modify it, it's probably not going to be a constant anymore. And it's probably not going to live in that same file either. So it's like you need to pull it from a different system entirely. And at that point, I don't think it's worth it. Also, whenever you code this, now you need to test by having a multiplier that's higher when you don't even know you're going to ever use the multiplier. So yeah, I don't think I'd like that. All right, so this one worked. Now we're saying you get another customer less often. Get new customers less frequently. So let's go manifest this before I forget. Okay. I am like drastically slowing down here. There. All right, so let's save that as this constraint. All right, so we got to figure out what the time is and what the base time is, I guess. So const int base num minutes per customer is 5. And constrained num minutes per customer is, let's say, 8. And then just num minutes per customer here. New customers appear every constrained num minutes rather than every base num minutes. Okay, and then this needs to be formatted correctly. VB code format number. Something like that. Can it format the other piece here? Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. Let's go try it. I haven't actually coded the thing. All I did is make the tooltip. So let's go see if the tooltip looks good. Customers leave if they wait too long. They already do leave, actually. So I could make them leave faster, I guess. So here it says new customers appear every 8 minutes rather than every 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm also realizing now that the time limit doesn't format the number correctly. This is supposed to say time limit minutes or that number M. Okay, now to make this thing work. So how do we give you new customers? I think over here somewhere. Add customer timer, yeah. If it's greater than customer addition interval. Okay, so then this needs to be something that we initialize. So private double customer addition interval. Put that there. This starts as nothing. This needs to be initialized somewhere. Oh, we don't have an init? Oh, God. It's right here. All right. So set of specialization. I guess we'll put this here now. Customer addition interval equals 60 times the... What do I call this? Get new customers less frequently. .num minutes. Okay, that should do it. All right, how do we test this? Let's try setting this to 1 minute here and this to 2 minutes. Just so we don't have to wait for 5 or 8 minutes. We don't have to wait for 1 or 2 either. We can speed it up to 8 times, but this is the wait for 1/8 of a minute and 2/8, or sorry, and 1/4 of a minute. This mode. So new customers appear every 2 minutes. Okay, so let's click that. So when the timer is down to 33 minutes is when we'll see a new customer join. So we start with 3. And we got to wait for this to hit 33 minutes. So yeah, like I said, this is not, this is the easiest way for us to test this. Yeah, in 10 seconds, we should see that. Yep, there we go, new customer. Okay. And then the other one should be faster to test, which is here. So we should get a new customer every 1 minute now. All right, so there were our 3 customers. Now we wait for this to go to 0. That one doesn't count. That's rare. There's a new one. Yep. Then we'll wait for 1 more minute. And 15 seconds. 5, 3, 0. Yep. Cool. Yeah, nice. All right, so that one's done. And now the final one, you're only offered storage perks at 25% the regular rate, or maybe not at all. This would cause you to micromanage your battles. I think this is very hard, so I kind of want to do this. Maybe we just don't give you the storage perks. It means that customers don't really matter very much anymore. So not only are you getting them less frequently, but there just aren't that many items for them to buy. It's interesting. Let's try it. We don't have an easy way to do this, though. I used to have a virtual function in the base class here that would let you know if this was even offerable in the current mode. And then I got rid of that. So public virtual bool like hazmat conditions. I don't know. Let's just go see what I used to call it because I liked whatever name I came up with before. Player ability.cs. History. Oh, it might never have made it in because I might have added it in a commit here and then removed it in another commit. Let's see if we can find it anyway. Otherwise, it might not be worth hunting this down. Why can't I even find player ability here? Because it didn't load any of these files. Oh boy. Yeah, I can't even search for it. That's a shame. It's like the dumbest search. There it is. Nope, it's not there. Okay, so then it's probably in this PR somewhere. And good luck finding it. All right, I don't know. Let's click this one. We got to find wherever I modified. I don't even know how you do this. I want to find where I modified player ability in this PR. And I'm not sure how you do that. Add ability for conditions and perks. Oh, maybe that's it. Hey, there it is. Hazmat perk condition. Yeehaw, copy paste. All right, so does our comment sound good here? When a player ability represents a perk they've been given out in challenge mode, this function returns true if they've met the conditions. Yeah, e.g. maybe some difficulty levels prevent certain perks from appearing. The check to make sure the ability is not at max levels on elsewhere. Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, that's pretty nice. All right, so now more shop displays is going to have a protected, or that has to be public. Whoop. Public override bool hazmat perk conditions. And this is not going to be allowed if I never even added this. What am I doing? What should it be called? No storage perks allowed. Or like cannot get storage perks. Would you be able to get the warehouse? Maybe just no shop storage? Yeah, I think no shop storage is okay. No shop storage perks. So we put that here. And we return that you don't have the constraint that I just did. Yeah, nice. Now nothing calls this function. So something in that PR needed to call it. And it was right there. And that's very easy. So hooray. Town generator down here. So it has to be less than the max level. And I guess hazmat conditions. That's it. Okay, so now how do we test that? We cut out everything that isn't some of those. Yeah, like that and that. I didn't remember to change the tooltip, did I? I didn't even make the perk. I didn't even make the perk. Did I? I didn't. How did I even, what did I just code? Shop storage. More shop displays? There it is. Oh, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. That's not how I've done everything else here. To the point where I shouldn't have done it here this way. So where's cannot build pawn? This. Just save this as this constraint. And then replace that. Okay, so what is this? Can get shop storage perks. You cannot upgrade your shop's storage. Okay. So now we should put that in there, right? So hazmat per conditions is this dot can, what is it, constraint? Wait, no, it's called no shop storage perks. Nice. Yeah, cool. All right, that should be everything. Okay, very hard. You cannot upgrade your shop storage. Maybe I should say you are not able to get the perks for it, just to make it clearer. Yeah, you will not be offered perks to upgrade your shop storage. Shop storage perks are disabled. That would also work. Okay, so let's start this. And then let's see. So now if I go to choose town perk, yep, we're only offered this one. But if I go into, let's say, hard mode and not very hard mode, then we'll be offered 3 perks. Yeah. So now you can expand your shops if you want to. Okay, interesting. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so we coded one more specialization. I'm only slightly losing my mind. I don't know why I feel so antsy about this. Oh, this can be checked in on its own. Fix formatting of time limit. I'm now bolding the M, the minutes. It's not even minutes though, it's M. So we undo this, we undo this. We probably keep everything else. All right, how's everything looking? Hazmat per condition. So we resurrected that code. We added 3 new constraints. Customers, sales are worth less, and not getting shop storage. We don't want to check in main still. And everything else looks pretty good. Yeah. Add, what have I been running for this? Get log -3. Code difficulty constraints for whatever, yeah. I'll just say add difficulty constraints for garbage. For garbage spec. Okay. Oh wow, enchanting is a gimme. I don't need to code any constraints. Oh, I probably should at some point. Enchanting. So enchanting just makes it so that easy mode, sure, is very easy, I guess. Medium mode, we raise the amount that you need. I guess we probably need to write what we're doing for these. Maybe we don't. And number of minutes the same. Then 10,000 in a shorter amount of time. And then 12,500 in a shorter amount of time. This is probably impossible. Well, I'll never say impossible. So maybe we just leave this as a challenge for people who are like really into the game. I think even in my like craziest run that I ever had, when the treasure room was super broken, where was it? Do I still have that picture? This one. This was the craziest run I had. I had 6 minutes to spare, and I hit 7,500 gold. So in 6 minutes, could I get another 5,000 gold? Probably not. Yeah, we should probably tone this down to like an achievable amount. Maybe medium mode should go up to 8,500 and then 8,500 in that amount of time and then 9,500, 10,000. It's probably still almost impossible. But if you say impossible to gamers, they're going to do their best to try to prove you wrong. Okay, that's it. Change enchanting. Change difficulty for the enchanting spec. This wasn't designed to use any special constraints. So the difficulty comes from changing the objective slash and time limit. Okay. So done. Oh, whoops. I did have a constraint. Yeah, whoops. Fine. We have to go code that. Customer speed and worker speed perks stop showing up. All right, well, we thankfully just coded that, so it's not like it's hard to do. No customer or worker speed perks. All right. Can get customer or worker speed perks. You will not be offered perks to us. Upgrade your customers. Upgrade the speed of customers or workers. Yeah. And now we put this inside. Give me a sec. Copy this. And put that there. Yeah. Doesn't really change the approach toward the goal. Well, it also changes the difficulty here. X is even higher. So like we made the amount of gold you need to be more, and now we're adding another constraint. So the other constraint does literally nothing. We still have another change that's here. But I think it will probably make the game harder. But who knows? I don't know. That's like I said, we're testing this out. I'm probably wrong about a lot of this stuff. What is the problem here? There we go. Okay, so that's player worker speed. Now we need player customer speed. This. Okay, let's go try it. So town perk generator, we're going to get rid of everything other than player and customer speed. That one and that one. And let's, I don't know, click a couple of those. Sure, whatever. We only have 4 perks, so out of 3, we're guaranteed to have one of the ones that shouldn't show up if it were broken. And I already, doesn't matter how many times I do this, I will never remember to put these things in. So this is going to be in hard mode and in very hard mode. If it just stopped repeat enchantment cast. When you say repeat, like you couldn't cast the same spell twice in a row? Yeah, okay. The only problem with that is that you start this mode with a 60% chance to cast a random spell for free as well, in addition to your original spell. And there are only 2 other spells. So the majority of the time you're going to cast, I guess, the other 2 spells. Or not have auto casting. Yeah. All right, so starting here, it says you will not be offered perks to upgrade the speed of customers or workers. So now we go choose a perk. And yeah, we're only offered these ones. But if we go into medium mode, we have no constraints. So we should be offered, yeah, customer speed, worker speed. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I do like this idea of customized difficulties. I think this is cool. But I don't think this is sufficient. I do think we need to change runs. I think we need events. I think we need some like extra perks. I think that's what next week is probably going to be about, is just adding that stuff. Because what I'm kind of thinking about here is, okay, so you pick this, you pick hard mode, whatever, you start a run. And now let's say it's 10 minutes into the run and your warehouse is just deleted. That's pretty intense. I don't know about that happening. But yeah, let's just say whatever, you just lost your warehouse. You're like, "What?" uh you would have to play a little bit differently. So that's a bad example, but yeah, I don't know what would have to happen. Something would have to happen to change things. Maybe potion prices change. Yeah, I don't know what the events would be. It'd either be something like enemies are harder or more numerous or something like that, or loot drops are worse in some location, or item prices change somehow. I think the main thing we have to figure out, and I don't know why I switched to designing this right now. Let's just stop talking about this after I write this down. But yeah, we got to figure out, what are we trying to get you to do? I got to write that on the to-do list. For events, the question is, how do we envision changing up your run? E.g., we could change item prices, change enemy difficulty, loot drops, etc. But what does that actually mean for you as a player? Just change locations? Three of those would have you just change locations. I'm feeling lucky, random. So there is chaos mode. Chaos mode is the one where you get 15 random perks. And then on medium difficulty, it's going to be, you can no longer choose perks. They're just chosen for you. In fact, actually, you know what might be kind of interesting is, like, every time you have enough money, it just spends the money for you. I think that would maybe highlight whether this is even a fun game, because I don't even know what decisions you'd be making. I guess it shouldn't just spend the money for you. Yeah, that'd be bad. Just add perks. We'll get overwhelmed with more systems, but I think there's a call for perks that are tied to specs, so the perks don't dilute build types. Yeah, I think that could happen. But I think what I'd like to do is come up with some way of changing essentially all of the runs so that they're a little bit different somehow. And that way, like, let's say we got adventuring to a good state. It'd be nice that just by default, all the other ones are also in a good state now, as opposed to putting in a lot of effort into each mode. But yeah, easier said than done. All right, nice. So despite what I wrote in the last commit, it's totally wrong. So we got to check in these things. So I think we make the commit message oopsie doopsie. Add enchanting constraint. I made a mistake in my last commit by saying that there weren't supposed to be any special constraints. We wanted to stop you from getting customer and worker speed from perks. You gonna build what you have today for the playtest? I think so, yeah. I think people should be able to test this over the weekend. There will probably be a gratuitous amount of this in the game, where it says a constraint will be here, but I haven't finished them for the specialization. So maybe only a few of these are really going to work. Farming has been coded. Adventuring has been coded. Industry has not. Garbage enjoyer has been coded. Enchanting's been coded. So 4 of them are coded right now. And maybe I can code like 1 or 2 more. Let's just try to find the easiest ones maybe. So this is done now. So I'm going to write some stars next to the ones we still have to do. So that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. All right. Can we get any of these? The garbage slime is never hungry. It's so bad. And it's not even that there's no point to the garbage slime. You probably still have to get them. All right, well, we already coded this one. Getting less loot. There's no way to say you get 20% less loot. Because you're mostly finding like 1 item or 2 items. So how would we do that? Maybe just 20% of the time we don't give you one of the items. I guess so. Change your priorities. An event where the garbage slime gets sick, vomits up a bunch of items, stays full for a little while. Probably want to prioritize being more efficient with how you're selling stuff. This is exactly why I'm streaming. So the monadic buying can correct IE to EG. I'll even correct it in the message over here. Yeah, I think those sorts of things are good. I got to put more thought into it. I just haven't yet. But yeah, something that temporarily changes up how you're playing could be interesting. I'm just not sure how many ways there even are to change up how you're playing. Like, what if we just said potions stop dropping? I might as well write these ideas down. Along those lines, potions stop dropping. Armor is worth like 3x as much. Or like the warehouse generates money just for having filled item slots. Or maybe will generate that money after a countdown. Yeah, something like that. Fish fight back feels like if it's in the variety category. Yeah, something like that could. It should be part of the fishing specialization too, so maybe we'll have already coded it such that it's easy. Even if there's also just changed locations. Yeah. Or everyone desires X item all at once. And then I need to think of how often those sorts of things happen. There's already a lot to pay attention to, and it's probably easy to lose track of events. I might as well write that down too. Also need to answer how the player knows that an event is going on. It's very easy to miss something like that. All customers remain 6 feet apart. Customers get each other sick. All right, so I think I can code this one now. Let's go do it. What did I code as what did I code as the default objective for all these? It's 7,500, right? Well, those it's pretty high. These it's 7,500. Yeah, it's 7,500 for all of them, and the time limit should be different now. Why is it 35 minutes? Unless I didn't change them for everything, which would have been a big mistake because I meant to press Alt F3. I might not have. I didn't. Oh god. I made a huge mistake. I only changed farming. Oh man, I'm doing a really shoddy job today. Yeah, I see. I see what happened. All right, well, let's search for this, I guess. This should be 45, 45. There are only so many of these to change. It shouldn't be very hard. Yeah, enchanting change. Okay, so I changed all the ones that were on one line, I guess. I'm surprised it didn't cause any errors somehow. All right, so now every medium difficulty, let's just select them all. And easy mode, I think they all look exactly the same, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they're all the same. So easy is done for all of these. Just delete them all. Medium. So several of these have this stuff go on to more lines. That one's fine. That one's fine. Fine, fine, fine. Fine, 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 fine. Yeah, they're all fine. Shaky, thanks for the resub. Nice swishing. How about a leaderboard? I should really add a leaderboard command because yeah, let me add one. Adam isn't too keen on leaderboards for Skeleseller because game is single player, so it's very easy to cheat them, and it would take development time to do. It wouldn't be too bad to have them just to compare with friends. Yeah. All right, so now hard mode and very hard mode should be at 35. So if I just search for this and I have 18 instances. So we know that we did that correctly. Okie doke. Messed that up before. Fix medium difficulty times. I had some set to 35 minutes still when they all should have been 45 minutes. I think, unless enchanting was special. Was enchanting special? No. Enchanting 8,500. 35 minutes, 10,000. Yeah, okay. All right, so back to work on this. So this has, you get one customer less often. So that's the same as the other mode that we had. So we can just go add in that constraint ID. Customer less frequently. Yeah, that is now in storage enthusiast. What is it supposed to be in? Yeah, storage enthusiast. All right, so never code as placeholder is this one. It's not showing. Then the next one is you get 20% less loot, and loot magnet costs more to cast. All right. So do we need to do both of these, I wonder? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Less loot. We should probably just code them as separate things, though. And loot magnet costs more. Okay. So, yeah, let's go do this. Less loot constraint. So this is like, okay, how do we roll loot in the first place? Because if I don't know how we do that, then this is not going to be easy to do. Generate loot. How does this work? Generate drops. Roll drops once and then double the loot. Doubling the loot should be fine. But rolling the drops once, we have this code here. So we can't say 20% less loot. We need to frame it in terms of how we're coding it, essentially. So maybe like 20% of the time you get half as many items or something. That doesn't work though when you're generating just one of something. So maybe 20% of the time each item that drops has like one count lower than what it would have had. Yeah, okay. I think something like that. Like 20% of the time, some loot will be missing from your drops. So basically just saying get less loot. I haven't really determined how that's going to work exactly. We could we could lower a drop by 20% of the time. I think that's probably how I'd want to do it. 20% of the time, an item will drop with lower quantity. A lower quantity. Something like that. And then I pretty much just code it like this. I say if stack computations percent chance 0.2 num items minus minus. Yeah, this is pretty much how I'm thinking of coding it. So if you were to get 1 to 6 items, you will now potentially get 0 to 5 items. It still might mean you get a lot of items. You might not even really notice this. But this does happen for every drop that occurs in your loot. So what does that mean exactly? Let me think about this. So let's say you would have gotten 1 to 5 items. Or 1 to 5, I don't know, bows, and 1 to 5 cloaks, and 1 to 5 potions. So now each one of these has a 20% chance to be lower by 1. 20% chance for 0 to 4 bows. 20% chance for this many cloaks. 20% chance for this many potions. So yeah, all in all, it's going to be a tiny amount of loot different. And you might get no items. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Okay, so I think that's how we'll say this. So drop chance 0.2. So we say something like 20% of the time items will drop with 1 less quantity. It's kind of weird to say. You'll get 1 less of an item from battle. You get 1 fewer item from... I don't know how to say this. I would just increase downtime between battles. Easier to scale than less loot. Well, but this has different implications with the loot magnet stuff. Because now loot magnet is like even better, but it's harder to cast because it's going to cost more mana. And it also means that your shops won't be as full. Which I guess the longer battles would probably do too. Unless they're at the beginning of the game, in which case, well, it could have the same outcome. Maybe, yeah, 20% of the time, some items will be lost from battle. I don't know what to say for this. You get slightly less loot. How's that sound? Yeah, great. Chance to miss out on loot. So this is will miss out on loot. And this is chance to miss out. And this is stat computations dot percent chance. Otherwise, you will not miss out on loot. This is a Boolean. Okay. All right, so there's what I wanted to code. Now we need to do this. So this is if less loot constraint dot will miss out on loot, then num items minus minus. And now we put this into the specialization for what exactly? Storage enthusiast? What is going on? There. Less loot. Cool. All right, so we go try that now. Yeah. So here we get slightly less loot from battles. So I'm going to click 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we filled to there. So 4 whole rows and 1 extra. 4 rows, 1 extra. And this is hard mode. Now I'm going to go into medium mode and we're just going to do that exact same thing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well, yes, this is why. I probably should have chosen this with something that's got fewer loot drops. I don't know. Maybe I didn't even click 10 times. I'm going to do this one more time, and I'm going to do it until we fill it and just count how many clicks it took to fill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, 19 is when it filled on level 1. And then this is level 2, level 3. What? Hold on a second. What's going on right now? Storage enthusiast. Oh, maybe level 1, level 2. Okay, yeah, level. Those are the same. All right, now how many clicks does it take to fill this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's also 19. So this is inconclusive. Maybe I did not do this correctly. Is this ever getting hit? Yes, it is. And number of items is 1, so then we just don't add that loot. All right, so I guess what I'm realizing is 20% is not a lot. And we're only subtracting by 1 anyway. What would be a lot is if it were 20% to set it to 0. Because then if you would have gotten 5 items, you get none. Although I think that's also less fun. So maybe 33% chance. Yeah, it's not even a crazy amount different. At least I don't think so. So now it should take more than 19 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It took 26 clicks that time. How is this like such a difference? I guess I had it set to 20%. So as a percentage change, it was like 150 something percent. When the reduction being more noticeable in the higher areas. Generally, I get way more loot in the harder areas. The reduction would be noticeable in the higher areas if you subtract it by more than 1. So this is going to be noticeable when you would have gotten 0 to 2 items. Now you're getting 0 to 1 item sometimes. But let's say you would have gotten like 0 to a million items or something like that, and you would have gotten this -1. You're not going to notice the difference ever. And the later locations generally give you more items. So that's why it should be less noticeable later on. I think I just tuned this a little too high, maybe. Although even then, I don't know. I mean, like, who knows, right? You just give this to people and they try it out, and if they can beat it, then I guess it wasn't too hard. And that's why I kind of wonder if we should just leave it how it is. Hey, Flair. I feel like I'm putting everyone to sleep. Hello, gamers. All right, so now we need loot magnet costs more. And the mana cost is going to be 600. We don't have an easy way to do this. Yeah, we don't have an easy way to do this. I think this is like hard coded into the enchanter tooltip. Spell mana cost. Yeah, it's not actually hard coded in there, but there's something that says all spells cost X. Yeah, here. Does all spells cost X? We could say that the enchanter just costs more for everything, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think what we should do instead is say like loot magnet is just worse. Although I don't know how we would do that. Or what if we say you can't cast loot magnet? But then you can get perks that aren't going to help you. Although isn't that true in other modes? No, let me just disable the perks. Maybe, okay, maybe we just disable the perk for loot magnet then. Yeah, that would be good. Okay. You can't get loot magnet potency. Yeah, that's smarter. No loot magnet potency perk. Okay, I like that a lot more. Now we go to no shop storage. Is that... There was one other one that I had too, right? Yeah, I guess it's this one. Okay, fine. Yeah, let's go into that. Save this as this constraint. Good. So can get loot magnet potency perk. You will not be offered the loot magnet potency perk. Do we have... It's not even called loot magnet potency. What is it called? Item spell potency. Okay. Yeah, there's the display name. So we could get this from the ability data, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. All right. So now I got to go code that. And that's going to be here. And then items, spell, potency, and shop displays. Pretty much the same. We just copy paste this into here. Okay. All right, nice. Okay, now the way we test this out is by just deleting all of this stuff and getting maybe like these three. I'm being so productive right now, you're helping. That's good to hear. I feel very sluggish. Fun story from work. A few days ago, I interviewed a guy for a position on my team, but the man has actually been coding since before I was born. Felt very unqualified to run that interview. You know, there are people who had long careers who are not necessarily good at their careers. So I think the interviews are still important. And just because you're younger doesn't mean you can't conduct it well. All right, so if we click medium mode, we will be offered the perk. This should be very easy to test. There's the perk. Yep, very easy. But if we pick hard mode, we will not be offered the perk. Again, should be very easy to test. Yep, there's no perk there. Easy. All right. It's slightly less loot from battles. Oh, there's one more thing I haven't coded, right? The garbage slime is never hungry. Yeah, I gotta do that. Definitely interviewed people older than me, not necessarily old enough to be my dad, who were not great programmers, or at least didn't do well in the interview. Yeah. I think there is a difference between interviewing well and being good at your job. But I feel like I haven't seen a strong correlation between being older and being good at your job. Now, that is not to say I'm ageist. What I'm trying to get at is I've seen young people who are bad, and I've seen older people, I guess, who are bad. So that's what I mean by that. I haven't seen a correlation. Like, just because you're older doesn't necessarily mean you're better. Just because you're younger doesn't necessarily mean you're better. I've seen both categories of people be bad. So I don't think age necessarily means that you're good at your job in either direction. I mean, that's the whole point of an interview, right? Because experience also doesn't necessarily mean you're good. Doing well at the interview doesn't necessarily mean you're good. Having a good portfolio doesn't necessarily mean you're good. Having worked at great companies doesn't mean you're good. Actually, something I never thought about. I wonder if there's some way for AI to gauge from some corpus of work that you're good at your job. And they would do a better job gauging that than humans would do. And I don't know what that corpus of work would be. I know the AI interviews are a thing, and I think it's probably just soul draining to be in an AI interview. And for those who don't know what these are, imagine that you go to work for a company and instead of a human interviewing you, it's an AI saying like, okay, can you do this question? And like they ask you follow-ups and stuff. A human might never see that content. So that's why I think that's pretty soul draining. But I wonder if there was some way for you to be like, okay, here's my GitHub, here's whatever, my social media, here's some other thing. Could AI somehow add some input into this based on what you've given them? They're like, oh, that would be a good candidate. And here's why I think that. They are courteous in the subreddits they visit or something. I don't know. You probably also wouldn't want that happening, but yeah, it'd be interesting if it was good. Basically, nothing makes you a good worker. Yeah, pretty much. Until you're on the job, it's really hard to gauge if someone's going to be good at that job. I even kind of wonder, like, you place a lot of trust in people as you interview people, like even starting at the referral process. How do you trust that someone's giving a referral based on that person actually being a good worker versus based on their friend and they like them, or they get a referral bonus? It's like, oh, I get several $1,000s or something because I referred somebody. Like, that's a pretty good reason to refer somebody. So maybe they're not that good at the job. Maybe there's some other thing that's going on. Microsoft doesn't trust referrals at all. Yeah. Straight in the trash, in fact. There's a shredder and there's just a trash can, and they're like, we're not even shredding these. Just get rid of them. Not even worth the electricity. All right, garbage slime is never hungry. I'm gonna code this and then I'm gonna launch this, I think, because I am just not doing too well right now. I'm not even. I don't even know. I'm just like tired, I guess. And I don't know why. I did wake up earlier than normal, but it felt like my sleep was good. Garbage slime never hungry. Or we could have really slow hunger gain. But then you probably shouldn't be offered the perk that makes them hungrier faster. Garbage slime slow hunger. Excuse me. Guess I wasn't giving you money for some reason. Thanks, Flair. Thanks for your money. Been a long day and a long week. It has been. It's been a productive week. And I think even today it's been productive. I guess I have been doing a lot though. All right, so slow hunger is what we're going to go with here. So how do we code this? Recycler, hunger, reduction, hunger. There's a process that makes them go up in hunger somewhere. Where is that? It's apparently not there. Do they have a timer on them? They do have a timer. Gain hunger. What was athletics? 5 gifted subs. That's a lot of giving money. Thank you. And welcome in, all you new subs. Very, very generous. Very kind. The best chat. All right, so here we have a delta and a multiplier. We could just multiply the multiplier by another multiplier. Solidify my pay to win later. Wink, wink. You got 20 perks coming your way. home country is exploding, even though I'm not the biggest fan. It's been very rough having all my social media feeds being filled with some real messed up videos. I'm sorry to hear that. I I I sometimes wonder what the best reaction to that is. Like, is it giving up social media? Is it I don't know, like talking to somebody? Is it taking some action? Basically, when is ignorance the right response to something? Like, oh, hey, that news is upsetting, so I will ignore the news. I don't know. There's probably sometimes, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Talk about it in Twitch chat. I mean, it might be. That's you never know. I think there is something to be said for like proper venting. I think some people think anytime they complain that it's the same thing as venting. But I think that what venting is, for to me at least, is it's complaining in a way that makes you feel better, and then you're done feeling bad. So like it's not, oh, I complained and now tomorrow I complained again and now tomorrow I complained again. It's like sometimes a really minor thing happened. Hey, I got cut in line. So you complain to your friend about it and then you're like, okay, cool. I feel better. That's it. I got cut in line. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to complain to somebody about it. That's venting. So it's possible that you are venting right now and that that's productive. It's also possible that it's the unproductive kind. I'm not saying it's bad from my perspective. I don't think you've been a disruption to chat or anything. But yeah, virtual hugs all around. All right, so I've just got to code this one last thing. So get new customers less frequently. We'll say garbage slime, slower hunger constraint. Hey, desired. What are you building? If you don't mind giving a short summary. Yeah, I think the shortest summary I could give is probably just the trailer on Steam. But I'm building a game called Skeleseller, and I'll leave that up here. Well, whoops, I apparently can't do that. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, there. Now you can see what this is all about while I just finish the code that I was writing for this. And then if you're still curious, I can answer more questions. I just want to not forget what I'm doing. All right, so garbage, slime, slow, hunger. Is that even what I called this? It's so hard to tell because I got to reload this every time. Shortest summary and most fun. I don't think that's exactly a summary of what I'm working on. Just kind of pushed me over the edge. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely from what you've said, sounds like there's too much stuff going on. I think cutting out the game as a focus for a bit is a good idea. I think trying to take some time off where you can is a good idea. I think only interview people younger than you from now on. That pushed you over the edge. It is the interview. It's nothing else. All right, so we should have a multiplier here. Multiplier. And it should be a float. And it should be... How much should we slow hunger by? Maybe a half? Yeah. So hunger multiplier. So if you have the constraint, it's going to be the multiplier. Otherwise, it's going to be 1. The garbage slime gets hungry at... Oh, I probably never formatted the percentages correctly before this. Also, this is just supposed to be multiplier. The usual rate. Yeah, oh god, I don't want to search for this. Find copy path active file. CDO into there. RGP0. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. And that one's good. Okay, cool. I did them all correctly. I'm very surprised by that because I don't remember doing them correctly. No, the advice in that case would be get old so that everyone you interview is younger than you and you're never bothered by interviewing people older than you. Out of context, that sounds terrible. Trust me that the context makes it sound completely innocuous. All right. So I've coded this. We have not used the hunger multiplier anywhere. So we just need to use the hunger multiplier. Delta times multiplier times flow constraint multiplier. Oh my god, I can't type anymore. Man, this thing is breaking like every other thing that I write. What's going on? know how to call this other than human bot farm interviews. Basically, people use AI to generate a fake person, CV, LinkedIn, the works. I think all of trying to find a job or find a candidate is totally borked right now. Like, I don't think it's good. It's a good experience for anybody. I think companies probably hate it, and I think candidates probably hate it. All right, I think we're done with this. Let's go try it. So it's not that it's never hungry, it's that they get hungry more slowly. So this can be deleted now. Let's go try it out. Yeah, I think AI has, will largely have had a negative impact on that realm. But I think there are other realms that'll have had a positive impact on. Like, I think consumption of certain media will probably be better. Like, imagine if you like reading, I don't know, some kind of fiction, like Harry Potter fanfic or something. It's like, well, AI could generate an infinite amount of that for you. So as a consumer, you're like, okay, well, that's all I wanted. I want Harry to cast fire spells on things. All right, you will not be offered perks to upgrade your shop storage. What did I just modify? I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Okay, yeah, what did I just code? What is that even for? Storage enthusiast. Garbage time will get hungry more slowly. Where did I put that? I put it under here. Yeah, what's going wrong then? Oh, because I'm under industry. Oh my god. My brain is not working right now. Garbage slime gets hungry at 50% the usual rate. All right, so how do we test that? I guess we set it to a really, really low number. Garbage, slime, hunger. Oh, I need to be off of my computer. It's not going well. You made the slime sick. No. All right, so let's try this out. So now, if you get the garbage slime, let's build them. They'll get hungry very slowly. So even at 8 times speed, we hardly notice this thing changing. But that's because I just totally nerfed this. Whereas if we were to go into the same thing, but in just hard mode, you need to build a slime. Now you see it filling up much faster, of course. All right, so that's working. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Because you have shops, I guess? I don't know. I don't know. All right, well, we coded them all. Hooray. Let's go get ready to release this. So this is all for storage enthusiasts. Yeah, let's get rid of this too. Add constraints for storage enthusiast. Sure hope I didn't break anything. Doing a lot of stuff without testing. All right, you ready for launch over here? Publish branch. Which means, so how many more of these do we have to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got the majority done. But I think some of those are going to be pretty tough. But maybe we can just make them easier. Anyway, so now it's launch, but we got to write to make another branch. Where I left off, I only coded 5/9 of these. Make a new branch when I get back to this. Okay. Okay, so we go over to here and we merge this branch. Add, I guess just improve challenge mode still. All right, what do we do? Fix a bug. That bug no one's probably ever going to encounter. But yeah, mostly just added difficulty. Mostly added difficulty controls. Is anyone looking to playtest the game? Does anyone want to try challenge mode? Because I could really use the help. I just want to know, is it fun? So if you've played the base game and you try challenge mode and you answer yes, it's fun, or no, it's not, then you've done your job. Ideally, you say more words than just yes or no. But yeah, I need more people to let me know, is this even on the right track? And I just cannot gauge that myself right now. I think it's headed in the right direction, but it's just not there yet. I will say this too, it's rough around the edges. So if you do want to try it, but you want it to be more polished, it's totally fine to just wait for a while. All right, so let's go release this. Plan to go through. That's totally fine. I don't mind if people are held up doing this or something. And I am trying to still get more playtesters to mitigate that a bit. So it is totally fine from my perspective. I just need to know that I'm kind of still going in the right direction. And the way I find that out is just by, yeah, people playing it. But as mentioned, there are rough edges. So for example, one of the problems that's been there since day one of challenge mode is you can't tell what skills do by hovering over them when you're offered them in battle perks. And it's like, yeah, I know it's unfortunate. It's not the easiest fix to do. I do plan on doing it. What am I doing? We have to write patch notes. I can't just stand here. Okay, so copy this. O-9-4. Get the current Unix time. Okay, major changes. What are the major changes? Fleshed out specific difficulties. Oh, wait, we like... what do I say here? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Revamped specializations so that they all steer the run much more thoroughly at the beginning. For example, farming spec now grants all farming perks rather than just 3. As a result of doing this, only chaos spec now grants random perks at the beginning. All right, minor change, fixed a bug where battle perks would break if you got a ludicrous number of them, greater than 40 on a single adventurer. Yeah. All right, what else? All farming constraints, code this, placeholder, formatting. Yeah, so basically just... And then we added specific difficulty levels for 5 of the 9 specializations. Farming. I don't know what they all are. Okay, well, I wrote them down, didn't I? Farming, adventuring, garbage enjoyer, enchanting, and storage enthusiast. The other specializations are playable, but nothing really differentiates the difficulties. So keep on playing challenge mode. See, it's fun. For any of the completed specializations, for any of the specializations with custom difficulty levels, let me know if they're too easy or hard. Okay, so let's look at this. Upload to Steam, yes. And then I'm going to need to do some extra steps here. Okay. So copy this link. This is O.9.4. I guess, oh, got all the UID files. I forgot about those. Well, we're going to check those in. Add UID files. Done and done. And sign in over here and sync changes over there. And put this on the default branch. Load on 9.4, set build live. Go to Steam, make the change. Launch the missiles, done. And now we just post this to Discord. Okay. All right, so it's on Steam now. I gotta get going. I think today was good. I need to take a break. So I'm gonna go find someone to raid. And I'm gonna try to spend as little time doing this as possible. All right, just trying to make sure I get to the bottom of my list here. L:Q it is. All right, I am not going to be there for the raid, so please someone tell them that I had to go, but that I like their stream and they're a great person. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll leave you with the usual links if you want to join Discord or play the game or join the playtest or anything. Anyway, just let me know. I'll be back on Monday, hopefully with more energy. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.